Hammond report. This is Jon Hammond. I'm back with my daily Hammond report. Still in pandemic Quarantino, going out nights for health walking. That's just about it right now. Holding tight. I hope everybody's doing cool out there. It is Wednesday, June 10th, 2020. I got something real cool for you today. We'll keep you company for a few minutes here with some music and stories. And we're going to go into the studios of CBS Radio in San Francisco with my good friend Jon Russell. Here we go.
Thanks for checking out another Indie Pool podcast, turning you on to more independent music and the people who make it. And these days, there are many avenues for folks to get their music heard, but it takes a lot of work. And one of the most tireless musicians I've met is jazz keyboardist Jon Hammond. We will hear his story in his own words in a bit, but first I would like you to know that you can catch Jon's podcast called The Hammond Cast on KYOUradio.com at 3 p.m. daily Pacific time. Or take a look at his website at jonhammondband.com. That's Jon. Jon stopped by our Indie Pool studio recently to share his music and stories, and we will hear some live in-studio stuff as well as tunes from his latest release recorded in Germany called the NDR Sessions Project. But right now, let's welcome into the Indie Pool, Jon Hammond.
What a guess.
Jazz organist extraordinaire.
All right, thank you very much, Jon.
And accordion.
Yes, sir.
And
my first instrument.
And any other keyboard.
Yeah, pretty much. I consider myself a specialist for organ and accordion because there are so many great pianists that, when I went to Europe the first time, I decided, why try to compete with all those piano players? I'd rather be a big fish in a small pond and stick with the accordion and the organ. But man, it's great to be here, and it's so nice to see you in person. I hear your voice all the time on the radio, and you're one of my favorite voices on the band. I got to tell you, No, you're good.
So, Jon, you
voice.
Grew up in the Bay Area?
That's true. I wasn't born here, but
where were you born?
I was born in Chicago, in the Windy City, and I have very vivid memories of Chicago and a lot of stories that I've heard and still remember a few things. But we came out here in 1957. I was 4 years old, and my father decided he wanted to raise the family in a tamer place than Chicago, because Chicago had a pretty bad rep back in those days, actually.
But at least you came away from Chicago with that great music.
Yeah, we listened to music all the time in the house then. I still remember, even though I left at the age of 4, we had one of the first houses on the block that had air conditioning in one room. My dad installed an air conditioner, and we had a piano, and we had a mono hi-fi system. And I remember they used to play Harry Belafonte, the Banana Boat song,
So Jon's dad thought that moving the family from dangerous Chicago to a more easygoing California was the right thing to do. Little did he know the era they were moving into, literally.
He had no idea what was about to happen in the 60s in Berkeley, and I was there for all of it, and I'm very happy and thankful that I could be there and be a part of it. But, he was shocked and surprised. He really didn't expect Berkeley to become the epicenter of political activism. And the Vietnam War was happening during the 60s, and a lot of protesting, questioning of authority, and out of it came a lot of music.
Yeah, and you came up playing, learning music at that point, right?
Yes.
And playing. And there was a time that Jon moved back east once again to get some training at the Berklee College of Music. Once again, in the Indie Pool, we are talking with Jon Hammond today, so let's listen and learn. You brought your keyboard here. Tell me, could you noodle around on something that you might have played when you were 12 years old?
Yeah, actually, I started writing music when I was about 14, 15 years old. I started writing tunes. And the first day when I came to Berklee College of Music and met Todd Anderson, after class, he was there at the piano writing something down, playing it. And I had this progression that I wrote when I was 15 years old was called Get Back in the Groove. And I really didn't know, what to do with it at the time. And I showed it to him, and he ended up arranging it for his band, And it's kind of I call this like the magic chord, like some keys and some tonalities have a certain kind of flavor to them. And the key of D major, for some reason, is a very bright key, Then you got the minor keys, A minor and D minor. They're a little, darker, a little more, and C minor, very bluesy, Mm-hmm. But the D major, so like the most basic chord you can play is a D major, right? So there's that. But then I would go to this other chord. They called it the magic chord, And then it moves on down. And actually what that is like, I learned later that's a different inversion of another chord, So they call that F sharp seventh in the first inversion, Yeah, so, yeah. So anyway, it's just like this progression goes like this. Get back in the groove, everybody. Thank you very much, John. And thank you very much, John. Thanks to everybody at KYOU Radio and KYCY. Have a great day today and a better day tomorrow. This is Jon Hammond saying bye-bye now.